Wrestling fans, welcome to the Big Schmaz. I'm Scotty Bender alongside, well, not really alongside, but on the video screen joining us, we've got the superstar Rob Schulz and the big guy on this Friday, April 17th, still in quarantine. Us here in New York, looks like it's going to be extended. Governor Cuomo now to May 15th. So another 4 weeks. And
did you say Governor Cuomo or Emperor Cuomo? What? No.
No. Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, we're here and going to talk some wrestling again. They're still on the quarantine. The big news, though, I want to start off. Condolences. The passing of the Fink, Howard Finkel.
Just heard his voice as the intro to the dirt sheet for Miz and Morrison on Monday. And now he's no longer with us a day later.
I personally just remember, as a kid growing up, going down to the Rochester War Memorial, seeing the Fink, do his thing. And I got to tell you, probably one of the best wrestling announcers that we're going to see. I mean, he just had a great voice and just enunciated. I mean, I'm not trying to get too specific, but just the way he did his announcing, it just got into your system, and he was good at getting the crowds going. And huge passing. Just a great guy too.
He was WWE's first employee, I think, too.
Correct.
Yeah, correct.
Rob, we saw him not that long ago at a comic book convention.
We did. He was on that panel. It was a good time.
The whole panel.
Yes. What a monster. It was a good time.
They had planned this panel of legends, and they didn't really have a plan. And Fink just kind of stood up and acted as the MC, and he went out in the crowd with a microphone, took questions from the crowd. He was great.
He pulled the knife in the Impaler.
He did.
Yeah.
You never know.
You never know.
Podcast.
I actually, the only time I ever met Fink was at the show. Was at the I don't remember if it was the War Memorial at the time or the Blue Cross Arena. But anyways, he was there. I was hammered, and we had ringside seats. And I remember, the show was getting over. We were, just like I was all a drunken mess. And I remember grabbing the sign off the ground that someone had, and I just ran over to him with it, and I just said, "Oh, can you sign this to Fink?" And I was really obnoxious, and I was just being a total douche. And he gracefully just grabbed it, signed it. Didn't say too much, but he signed it. I have it somewhere in my memorabilia. It's probably in storage, but he signed it for me. But I just remember, he could have looked at me and said, "Hey, prick, knock it off." And and he didn't. And I was, it was the end of the show. He probably wanted to get the hell out of there, and here I am, hey, the Fink, just being all stupid. And he signed it for me. So that's my Fink moment.
We used to wonder, when we were kids, if Fink was like that all the time. If he was at home, he'd be like, "Honey, what's for dinner? Meatloaf. Okay."
In a tuxedo constantly.
Yeah. Yes. So, again, he's definitely going to be missed, and a lot of great memories, WWF, WWE. So, rest in peace, Fink.
Yeah, let's take a look at Luke Gallows on the Not Sam podcast, telling a little Fink story.
Can you tell that story about when Fink called you and told you were in Kane?
Nope.
Please. That was great.
Yeah, I was in developmental, and I was 21, and they wanted to look at my character or whatever, so I get the 203 call, and I'm in the grocery store, and it's the Fink, but I think that it's a joke because he goes, "Hello, this is Howard Finkel."
Gallows is quite the storyteller, I'll tell you.
Excuse me? This is
He
Howard
really is.
Finkel.
Until he gets his own
Oh, man,
podcast.
really? Yes.
Wait till he's ran
You were
out.
booked on this weekend's live event series, and you'll be taking on Kane. But you're still going he's got his ring announcer voice on the phone. This guy's more awesome than I could ever imagine. So then he's like, he's doing the travel at this point. He's not ring announcing stuff anymore. So he's like, your hotel will be the Marriott, and you will pick up your rental car from
a lot
Budget.
of times right now.
So like I'm going, okay, great. So then I'm like, okay, it's not a joke. This is great.
I thought it was
Thank you so
Gallows
much, sir. I really
whistling,
appreciate
right?
it. I'm
No.
going to do my best. And then right before we hang up, he goes, oh, and one more thing. Watch out for that choke slam.
And then click, right?
Hung up, yeah. So I immediately called my trainer. I go, is this real? And he goes, yeah, it's real. You don't want to go? I go, yeah, I want to go. I don't know, man. Relax. It didn't sound
amazing.
real, though.
Yeah.
So that kind
I
of
think.
transitioned us right into our main topic of the day, which is
Yes. Huge news.
WWE.
Huge news.
just releasing everybody. I
Yeah.
think everyone
Big-
in that video we just watched got cut.
Yeah.
Sam Roberts, hopefully.
Yeah, big news. I mean, wow, 30 plus cuts, and I mean, some big names, some big surprises. Personally, again, without reading much into it, I mean, the biggest surprise for me, I would have to say, was the OC.
Yeah, they set a pretty high-profile match with AJ Styles and the Undertaker, and that was
Yeah.
their last TV appearance.
Right.
We
it-
joked
and they
about it
had-
being Undertaker's last match, and it's Gallows and Anderson's last appearance in WWE.
Yeah. I mean, you look at the list of the list of wrestlers that got dropped, and a lot of them really aren't storylines. They're not even on TV that much, or they're doing house shows, whatever. But the OC, I mean, they were, like you said, they were in a big match at WrestleMania. They're attached to one of the WWE's biggest stars right now, AJ Styles, and it's just going to be kind of strange to to see them go. I mean, I remember months back when they were up in the air, where they're going to leave, they're going to stay. Then they went and signed a big contract. And like, oh nope, WWE is going to keep them. There's speculation they might get out of their contract, but now they signed it into a kind of a big angle and kind of his sidekicks, and now they're gone. Well, where they'll end up. I mean, a lot of speculation. I guess Anderson was teasing New Japan. I mean, we know the connection he has there, and that's where I see him. A lot of people are like, oh, AEW. I don't see that happening, but
Yeah, I think New Japan is where they're most comfortable too.
mm-hmm.
So it wasn't just wrestlers who got cut. There were also a lot of backstage. I think some of the more shocking names like Fit Finlay, Billy Kidman.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
They've been around a long time.
Mike Chioda.
Mike Chioda.
Yes.
31 years with the company.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Gone.
He was like number one after Hebner, right? Like right behind him? Like he took over for Hebner as like head official.
I don't know if that's official.
Man, Mike Chioda.
I mean,
Sarah Logan got her arm destroyed on Monday Night Raw. That was her last appearance.
One of my favorites, Drake Maverick. Love the
He's in
Drake.
that tournament. He's in the
Love
NXT
the Drake.
tournament.
Yeah, I love the Drake.
Yeah.
What is
be
going
interesting-
on?
It'll be interesting to see where they land. That's going to be fun to watch. I mean, right now, obviously, there's really no wrestling going on, but it'll be interesting to see who AEW signs, because obviously they can't sign everybody, and they don't want to sign everybody that WWE releases. I'm sure they're coming into the same shortcomings financially, not being able to, run pay-per-views, and, with the invisible enemy, the Scourge going on.
The coronavirus?
Is that a thing? The Scourge?
Yeah.
That's what they
The
call it?
Scourge.
I've
Yes.
never heard of that.
I think Donald Trump has called it the Scourge. The Scourge or the Scourge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, the invisible enemy.
Can't
Mhm.
argue with him.
No. So, some, if in my opinion, obviously, let's just go to the obvious question here. Who do you think will go to AEW? I mean, I know they weren't part of the releases, but I definitely see the revival going there. I could see EC3 going there. AEW likes project. I also think AEW kind of likes projects that WWE starts and doesn't finish or doesn't know what to do. And that's why I also think Zack Ryder. I know that Cody commented on his T-shirt being the #1 seller. I could see a Zack Ryder going to AEW. His style and the way he is could fit in. Again, it's all speculation. Then there's guys that are going to go back to TNA. I mean, Eric Young. He got he was unfortunately with someone released. I mean, that's an easy slide in right there. And his relationship with Scott D'Amore, and it's an easy one for Eric Young. I could see him maybe going back to TNA, but again, who knows? Where these folks will end up. And when this is over, right, big guy, they can even sign some of these guys back, right? I mean, In
the case of the producers, it's a work furlough, so Finley most likely will be back.
Mm-hmm.
But like you're saying, AEW, they're in the same boat as everyone else. They're not collecting ticket sales.
No.
Pay-per-view isn't going to be in Vegas. It's going to be in a warehouse somewhere.
In
so
Hamlin.
It's not like they can just go out and sign everybody.
Yeah. Right.
And I think it comes down to relationships. You talk about
true.
Zack Ryder is a good close friend of Cody.
Mm-hmm.
The Revival have a love-hate relationship with the Young Bucks. I think there's a connection there.
Yeah.
I don't know if some of these other guys, EC3, I don't know if he has any connections there. I don't know if he's friends with Omega or it might be tougher for him.
Mm-hmm.
The C in EC3 is Carter. I mean, why wouldn't he go back to TNA?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, there's some homes to go to.
Yeah. TNA has probably some room to add a couple of people, but they're not exactly setting the world on fire.
No.
It's a shame he didn't get off the ground in WWE, EC3.
I just don't think he ever matched up well in terms of ring ability.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they could have gave his character a little more time. He could have done more promos, but WWE, if you can't cut it in the ring, you get cut.
Yeah.
Like Buff Bagwell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you said, if he had a really great ring persona, the wrestling, he could do enough to get by. But you're right, that was missing along with the persona, and it's too bad that it didn't work out that way. But
he had a lot of matches on main event.
Yeah,
a whole bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Not in the main event, on main event.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Well, Eric Young was a staple.
That too. Yeah.
Yes.
Constantly.
Interesting. Eric Young was also working as a producer backstage, so
that's correct.
He seemed to be on that career path of working for the WWE for a long time. So it was surprising to see him get cut.
Not a surprise to get cut, but what about Rusev? I see Japan for him, but who knows? I mean, the money's going to dictate, but I could see him being a star over in Japan. His style and
What about Primo and Epico?
Who?
I think you're going to see them just as much in the future as you've seen them in the last 2 years. So, it's all good.
Yeah. No, it's unfortunate. And Heath Slater, I mean, he's got kids.
Oh, he's got kids.
You know?
Harsh
no one's
realities
safe.
of wrestling.
No one's safe from the Scourge.
The Scourge. No one is. The invisible enemy.
Oh,
the unknown. God. The unknown. That's right. It's a war. We're in a war. The war we're in.
All right. We'll take a break and come right back.
Oh my gosh.
They're all kind of jacking my style, if we're being honest. But can you guys believe what Matt said about me? He called me a fake Latino. Can you believe this? Coming from the guy, which I have no idea what version of him we're even on. Is this version S for version stupido? You know what I'd do to him? If I was in the ring with him, I'd beat him up 5 times. Watch this, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Woo! That's what I do to him. Just like you, Jake, would beat up Kenny. Am I right?
Sammy, you're absolutely right. And you know what? I would punish Kenny Omega, and I would choke out the entire elite at Blood and Guts. But more importantly, earmuffs, kids. I'm gonna beat the shit out of Jon Moxley and become your new AEW champion. Ain't that right, Painmaker?
Oh yeah, I get it, Jake. You know why? Because you're the only undefeated pro wrestler and MMA fighter in the world today. You are going to Boxley in the fat head of Jon Moxley and become the new AEW World Champion, right? Huh? Oh, by the way, how sexy does Sammy Guevara look today?
Muy sexy.
Exactly, and that's no joke. But here's a joke for you. What do you call an idiot who's been missing for weeks and likes horses? Hangman Page, right? Exactly. Yeah. I haven't seen him in so long. I'm almost wondering if Cody Exotic took care of him and fed his remains to Pharaoh, right? Listen, the bottom line is this. The Inner Circle is going to kick the crap out of the Elite at Blood and Guts when we're ready to have it. And when we do, we're going to have a little bit of the bubbly. All right, guys, I got to go. I got my assistant on the other line. We'll talk tomorrow. Okay, bye. I still don't have any toilet paper. Can you find me some?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the Bubbly Bunch. It was just something different. It was cheap, funny humor. Jericho pouring the orange juice missing, and just seeing them all in there doing their thing. In their respective places. I think it was funny. I liked it.
Jericho is such a high, guy, such a superstar, but we've all missed the glass pouring orange juice before. Really, made you feel like him for a moment.
Right. I like.
What's that shirt you're wearing?
Oh yeah, this is my shirt. I bought it last year. Let me stand up slowly. Dun, 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 dun. Little bit of the bubbly.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
One of the famous.
I got it from Hot Topic.
I was just going to ask you, did you get it from Hot Topic?
I got it from Hot Topic.
Right.
I had to drive out to Victor to get it, though, in my size. A large.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
A little bit of the bubbly.
A little bit of the bubbly.
I wanted Sammy Guevara. Thought he was pretty funny, exercising. He's always, the Spanish god. I do want to just make a comment about Sammy is I'm really becoming a big fan of him, and I really am looking forward to seeing his development. I think he's got a lot of talent, and he's not afraid to put himself out there. And with the lack of talent that they've had at these tapings, he's been asked to wrestle quite a bit, and he's really putting himself out there. And I'm really looking forward to seeing him develop in this business. He's a young guy, and especially his match with Darby Allin in the TNT Championship coming up. I think these two guys can have a feud that can last for a long time. Now, it wouldn't be, I'm not going to classify it as a Dusty Rhodes, Terry Funk type feud, but these guys are two young talents, and, they're going to be crossing their paths quite a bit. I can tell you that.
I think it's safe to say, Scotty, that a few months ago, you wouldn't have cared about this match.
No, I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have. I didn't like Sammy Guevara first. I just was kind of I just, when he first debuted, I really didn't think much. And then lining him up with, one of the greatest in Jericho, and
sure,
he's just got a great mentor to learn from. He's in a good group, and his character fits the group. You got Champion's arrogant, so he kind of feeds off of that. And then it works.
He's also with Jake Hager, who had a match this week.
Yes, in the main event. Yeah, and the main event that started at 9:30.
Oh,
that I thought my clock was slow because I'm like, there's no way that this is going to go 30 minutes in an empty arena.
Guess what? It did.
It did. Yeah.
What did you think? I mean, this match has been built up probably more than any other TV match going back to maybe like Goldberg Hogan.
Mm-hmm.
You had 3 or 4 weeks of build up. You had videos of them training. This week you had videos of people giving their opinion on the match, from Mike Goldberg to guys I've never heard of, which is most of them.
I actually like the fact that they did that. Like, I thought let's just put it this way. The hype was better than the match. I mean, the hype up to this match, I think, was great, but the match itself, not so much.
Mm.
And it's too bad because I did think they went out there and they, they were great. They were given a tall task. I mean, 30 minutes, empty arena. They're known. This is supposed to be a hard hitting, and ground and pound type match. And it's just a hard thing to pull off. In just my opinion, without a crowd. And I don't know. I mean, I give them credit for trying. It wasn't like, I don't think they went out there and mailed it in. I just, I don't think they went out there and just didn't give a shit. I think they did. But unfortunately, it just.
You think they gave a shit?
Yeah, I think they did give a shit, but I just don't think it just got. It was like the plane that just kept going, hitting the runway and just never took off.
Well, but Apollo Crews and Aleister Black put together a good half hour. Why couldn't these guys?
I think it was just the style of the match. It was just too much. It just kept going on, and it was just long.
They should give those guys more time, by the way. Apollo Crews and Aleister Black.
Yeah, they should. So I think the build-up was very promising.
Yeah.
It shows that in this day and age, you can build and promote a match and make it more exciting than it actually is.
It was. I mean, the build-up was great. The interviews and stuff, it was awesome.
If they can just follow through and then have a good match at the end, AEW would be on a roll. So
the ending just kind of came slow. I mean, he hit him with the DDT and pinned him. And personally, again, I'm not a booker, but I probably wouldn't have had Hager. I don't know. Maybe that match could have went to a no contest, and it would have just been just as good as far as in their eyes of critics. Jake, they kept building Hager. He's undefeated in MMA and wrestling, and to go and lose a match in an empty arena, they could have built this up again. They could have wrestled again and just had something happen. I don't know how you do a DQ in an empty arena match, but something could have just happened where I don't know.
That's another thing. This match was taped like 4 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So they knew what they had.
Mm-hmm.
And they still promoted it that heavily.
Yeah.
I believe Tony Khan, even on the internet, said that this was the best empty arena match ever when he was talking about the build-up for it.
Oh.
So,
well, he was obviously
Don't
lying.
believe everything you hear from Tony Khan.
No.
So moving on.
It didn't live up to the hype, and that's unfortunate because I really can tell you, like you said, I was excited to watch the match. I mean, I remember like it's getting ready to start, and my wife kept talking. I'm like, "Shut up! I want to watch the match. Just get out."
Just like when he used to watch Georgia Lopez, and she would start talking. I'm trying to watch Georgia Lopez. Come on.
Oh, that's funny. Yes.
So,
but anyway,
Monday Night Raw. It's been a different show post WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Previously mentioned Apollo Crews 45-minute epics. You've got Street Profits taking up a whole hour with a bunch of matches that everyone tuned out of.
Austin Theory's there a lot.
This past week, the new trio, Austin Theory, Garza, Andrade. What are they doing on Raw?
Giving their top guys a rest, it seems like that. Seth Rollins is there a lot, though, the whole show. And is he aligning? What's that?
No Kevin Owens.
No Kevin Owens. No Edge. No Orton. No Reigns. Drew McIntyre was on.
Yeah.
But he fought Andrade.
So you have like two top guys.
Yeah.
Some established mid-card, and then like a lot of unknowns.
MVP was talking about that Money in the Bank qualifier thing that was coming up, and I was like, who's in this?
He is. That's how bad
he's in it.
He's in
it. Man, buckle in. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
I actually thought for a second, I thought, man, Jonathan Coachman looks better than he has in years. Turns out it was MVP.
Oh, man.
I think the problem that the WWE is going to run into, or is maybe is already running into, when they're okay. I'm going to have to explain this. People that watch WWE, there's a lot of kids, a lot of wide range of fans, age-wise, demographic-wise. A lot of younger fans are used to seeing the big name stars. They go to see the Roman Reigns, they go to see all the big Ortons, all the big Edges, the big names. So they're not really wrestling purists in the sense of like understanding the whole idea of character growth and a character. You're trying to push a character to get him over. Get him over. They don't understand that. They just want to. They put on their John Cena pajamas with their Roman Reigns stuffed animal, and they're ready to watch what they watch. It's the big names and the big hurrah. So it's not like where you or I would watch Ring of Honor and we would see an upcoming talent and be like, oh wow, this guy, he just debuted. It's totally different. So to Joe's point, I think that's a problem. I think that these people aren't going to watch it. But
Well,
again,
how do you get new talent over when there's no audience to react to them?
good point. Good point.
Commentary,
How
right?
do we know? Well, commentary is trying to tell the audience what to think, but how does WWE know that Austin Theory is over, or does he have X-Pac heat? How? I mean, Apollo Crews wrestles for 30 minutes and there's zero noise, and this time there was no audience either.
Oh my gosh, Joe! Oh my God.
You're right.
Harder to judge the talent.
And with that announce crew that they have, I mean, it's not like it's not like you're listening to, like, we go back to Jericho on commentary with AEW, him and Shivani. They could have a garbage match in there, but he's going to make it entertaining, and he's going to say funny stuff, and they're going to work together, and they play off each other. And I could take a halfway decent match, but WWE, they can't do that. The commentary team they're terrible. Right. They can't carry a match. No. They can't.
That's
really,
an
you could put
point, because Jericho and Shivani announcing a lot of squash matches, and they made them really entertaining.
They did, yes.
WWE has had better matches. I thought Oney Lorcan versus Aleister Black was like a really good match, but I don't know if Jerry the King Lawler saying things like, "Oh, making fun of Oni." Doesn't know how to pronounce his name, and then saying he kind of reminds me of Cesaro. It's like,
yeah,
what are you doing? How do you get over the product?
Right, and just to go back also to the Moxley-Hager match, we're talking about commentary. Jim Ross coming in, another bad thing.
Yeah,
Ross couldn't.
L champion.
Ross on his own commentating a 30-minute match like that, that didn't help. But let me put it that way: it didn't help the match. It didn't. And again, not that commentary could have saved the match, but something making it more exciting to listen to. I wanted to make that point too. We were talking earlier, and he didn't help this situation at all. He brought the whole momentum down too. I don't know. I feel bad talking about Jim Ross like that, because I was a huge fan, but I just, now hearing other people, and it's this time for him. I mean, I'm not saying he can't stay with AEW, do his little one-on-one interviews that he does, his little one-on-ones he does. That's where I would keep him. He doesn't belong in the booth anymore. It's the time is up, and whether they pull that plug or not, we'll see. But
Well, I think his attitude has changed. He seems very negative. A lot of his comments seem like he kept making fun of, why are there ring barriers? It's an empty arena match. And why do they have chairs?
Yeah, well, his subtle shots at the product.
They're there so they have props, so they can have a match. No,
Joe, big guy, 100% correct. 100%. He's not enthusiastic about it. He does take little shots at it, little ribs and stuff. And where even Excalibur wouldn't do that. Taz is still be excited about it.
Taz. No?
But anyways, it'll be interesting to see. Now a lot of people were upset about the whole essential thing with McMahon wrestling being allowed to call it essential business. Is awesome. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Rob, you did say something this segment.
Bobby Lashley told Lana to shut up on Raw. I thought that was pretty funny.
Even with Rusev getting released, she's still playing the heel on the Twitter.
Yeah.
She was still bashing Rusev. It's awesome.
I said some stuff earlier.
We'll be right back.
Oh my gosh.
Bands. Call 911.
Scotty Bender. Rob Schulz.
Yes.
The big guy.
It's a little show called The Big Schmaz. This is the last segment of that show.
Best part.
And yeah, it really is the best part. It's the part everyone wants to watch. If you watch our YouTube numbers, everyone just skips right ahead to Schulzie Explains It. Everyone wants to know. So, Rob, this week.
Oh, boy.
As part of Schulzie Explains It, the wrestling world would love if you would explain what happened when the Outsiders were in the middle of the ring at Bash at the Beach, and the third member was
Okay. So, Heenan on commentary. So they were running down. Macho Man was in there. The Outsiders were like beating him up. Hogan comes running out. Sting was around, and I think the assumption was that Hogan was going to save Macho Man and Sting. And Heenan goes, "It's the third man. He's with the Outsiders." And I think Shivani was like, what are you talking about? And Hogan turned on them. He dropped the big stinky leg, and he was with them, with the Outsiders. And then Mean Gene came in the ring, and he's like, "Hulk Hogan, what is this? What are you talking about?" And that's when Hulk Hogan said, "You're looking at the new world order of wrestling." And that's how the NWO started. Bash at the Beach. Yes. Is that enough?
Okay.
I haven't actually seen it. Can you believe that? I haven't seen it live. I was watching my old stuff in order. I didn't get up there yet. Can you believe that? I've seen bits and pieces of it, not the whole thing full. Yep.
But you really explained it. There's no reason for anyone to ever watch it again. Because we got this now.
Funny thing, too, just to make a quick comment before I go to the hot button. I don't know how I stumbled across it, but it was either today or the other day. I was watching the match, or the match, not the whole match, but the highlights of the match with Hogan and Shawn Michaels when he was overselling. I don't know. It's just a random thought, but I had to tell you, it's unbelievable. It is just so unbelievable. I watched like 5 times, and the commentary they're trying to they're selling it like, oh my god, and Michael's just flying around. Oh, it's priceless. It's just priceless. It's just, man.
So speaking of hot button with Bender,
it's
time for a hot button with Bender.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the hot button this week is going to be directed towards comments that Ronda Rousey made last week in a tweet or an interview. I don't remember which one it was, but Casey came out and said that as much as she liked the WWE, the fans were ungrateful. They didn't appreciate anything. She kind of ran the fans down, called it fake in the past. And it's funny. I read message boards, I don't think they're called message boards anymore, but I read just all these people just coming out and just running her down and like, oh, fuck you. You're this, you're that. We hate you. And I just want to say, everyone, it's a fucking work. She's working, you people. It's a work. Look at her. Like I said earlier, look at her mentor was Roddy Piper. Come on. She's going to come back to the WWE at some point with so much heat. That's what they want. And all these people are just making comments. Oh, they believe everything that they hear, and that she would really, come out and say that. And what's great is you get wrestlers chiming in saying, this and that, and kind of going up against her. Nia Jax is one of them. But I just want to say it's a work. Come on, guys, let's get it together here. And also, just a side note too, on the AEW things I read. They can't sign everybody, okay? I know we talked about cuts earlier, but all these people think all these people from WWE are going to go to AEW, and come on, get your head out of your ass. I think this is going to happen, So that's another thing. I just see all these people making comments about, oh my God, AEW is going to rise to the top with all these releases. They're going to sign all these people, and it's just like, come on. Just shake my head.
Double button.
Yeah, double button.
Double button.
Bam, bam. Double button.
Yes.
Button. So.
Oh man.
All right.
I don't know if we're going to actually see live wrestling, like in the packed arenas that we're used to seeing. I don't even see it till maybe next year. I'm going to be honest about that. I'm not a doomsday guy, but I mean, they're not just going to open up the arenas and everyone can sit next to each other. If you got to practice social distancing and you got to be separated from people, it's going to turn people away. They're going to go with their families, but they're all going to sit 6 feet apart from each other. It's not going to happen. And let me
ask you this. If baseball comes back and with no fans in attendance, who the hell's going to boo the Houston Astros?
Yeah.
I know.
Those
motherfuckers. Yeah, we're just in a weird time. Who the heck knows what's going to happen? I mean, you hear all differing, you hear like the mayors of, I'm not trying to get in a political thing, but New York and LA say that, they're not going to bring back live sports or concerts until next fall of this, like November or next year. I mean, so it's just 2021. Maybe the next year. It's just
WrestleMania in Hollywood next year. Could be in trouble.
Yeah. I just want to say in closing, I am surviving watching wrestling now, but I just really miss the fans and having the arenas, and I really do, and it's just really taking its toll on the excitement of wrestling. I'm watching, but it's sad.
Okay. Once again, we ended on a downer. Schultz, any last words?
I'll catch you down the
Okay,
road.
We'll see you next week.